Hello everybody, this is Freddy with Freddy Can Fly, and today's video I wanted to throw up a quick demonstration. I've got another 3GX issue that I'm running into. It's always with the 3GX systems for some reason, but it's another rudder or gyro related issue, if you will. So what I've got sitting here, guys, is I've got in a line T-Rex 550. It's the version 3 with the Dominator motor. Right now, I've currently downgraded the 3GX software to version 2.1. That is the one that I'm most familiar with and usually have the best results with. And I've thrown everything at the book of heli at this gyro, and I cannot get this figured out. So I wanted to show you guys what I have going on here, and if you have any suggestions or have ran into this similar situation, drop me a quick message or shoot me a call and let's see if we can get this solved. Alrighty guys, so basically here's what I've got happening. I've got the T-Rex 550 here. This belongs to my good friend Nick Kessler. He sent this for a custom build, and from my understanding, it's brand spanking new out of the box. Some of the components were pre-assembled when I received them, but I did take everything apart, fully rebuild. You notice it's got the awesome Freddy Can Fly kind of custom look going on, really clean wiring. So for the most part, the heli's built, she's good to go. And the programming and everything on here has been done. I've done several 3GX systems before, and every once in a while I run into a couple tail related issues, but this one's actually a little bit unique. And so basically what's happening here, and just for a quick note on the video, guys, once again running 2.1, okay, swash is working up and down, forward, backwards, right and left. All that's working great. You notice right now 2 solid red lights, so we're in rate mode, coming down to our tail. As far as slider goes, left should be right, right should be left as far as slider goes. So that's all working, and you notice rate mode returns to center, so that's all accounted for. Coming back over here, if I toggle into heading hold mode, you notice we get that green status, guys, so we're in heading hold, auxiliary 2 for the channel. Now, when I move left rudder, slider to the right, it does stay as it is supposed to. And if I can capture this, let's see if I can do this on camera. You'll notice when I move the heli, slider starts to compensate automatically. Hopefully you guys can see that. But basically what I'm saying is everything's set up the way it needs to be. All aspects of the programming are complete. The issue that I'm having, which we're going to go outside and demonstrate this for you here in a minute, is this. Okay, so I'll be out, I'll go and spool it up. We're going to go into heading hold mode, and you'll even notice right now on the bench I've got full travel. Everything on the servo seems to be working appropriately. Now the issue I'm having with this is when I take it out and actually apply throttle, RPMs, or head speed if you will, when it gets to a certain percentage, I'd say probably over 20% or so on the motor, the servo actually locks up and I actually have no rudder movement. So it'll center, and no matter what I do with the movement on this, I get no slider. So no matter how much I move that rudder stick, I don't get this effect. So let's go ahead and take a look at what that actually looks like so you guys have a better understanding of what I'm talking about. Alrighty you guys, so here we are, we're outside. We've went ahead and booted up the machine, and you'll notice right now we're in rate mode. Tail gets full travel. Go over here. We are in heading hold mode now. Tail stays to one side like it's supposed to. And let's see if I can get the rotation here. And you'll notice when I rotate, it counterbalances the way it's supposed to. So everything's working, and you'll notice right now we get the full travel. Nothing weird. So let's give it a spool up here. See if I can kind of demonstrate for you guys what's going on. So let's go ahead and we'll come out of hold, and let's give it a quick spool up. So at first spool up here with a lower RPM, it still actually has tail control a little bit, but watch this. When I get to a high head speed right there, I have no control over the rudder at all. This is full rudder right now. Nothing at all. Look at this. Very weird, huh? No rudder at all. And when I throttle down, full rudder. Alrighty, you guys, so basically there was just a quick demonstration of the issue I'm having when I do spool up. You notice I took the main rotor blades off and put it on a slick surface with none of those little rubbers on the landing skids so I can spin around. It's actually usually how I set up my gyros, make sure everything's working pre-flight before I actually take it up in the air. So yeah, essentially, I mean, I get up to a certain RPM and the tail stops. I cannot control it whatsoever, but outside of spinning up the motor, the tail works perfectly fine. So I can't rule out if it's a defective 3GX, if there's something wrong with the tail servo. Now, as a second note, before I start getting a bunch of comments of, hey, check your mechanics, right? Because maybe there's a defect in the mechanics or I built something wrong and maybe it's binding up. And as Freddy Can Fly would go, all that stuff has been thoroughly checked. But just to show you, just so you guys aren't doubting me here, let's take a look from the front end. Tail servo is on the furthest out hole on the stock aligned tail servo arm, which I think is like 14-15 millimeters, something around there. Slider rod is just perfectly smooth. Tail servo has no notching, no binding, anything of that nature. Our slider that we've epoxied down on the ends is free and smooth. Of course, the link rod makes a nice straight shot down to the tail. See if we can get a shot of that actually. So link rod's nice and straight, good shot. Now the important portion, right, which is going to be the tail slider unit. You'll see here I've disconnected the ball mechanism, or the link arm, if you will. Now, tails are a big deal to me, guys. These things always have to be perfectly smooth. I'll take just one finger, so I can find the ball here, and you'll see with barely any pressure at all. I mean, that bad boy, perfectly smooth. I can damn near just flick it, and it's really smooth. So there's zero binding, zero issues in the tail at all, to be honest with you. So I know it's not mechanical. You know, tail grips, they don't separate, they don't pull off of the main hub. So kind of at a loss here, guys. So sometimes even Freddy needs a little bit of help. So if you have any ideas as to what could be causing that, just as a quick reference tip, I guess, before you start throwing out suggestions, I've plugged it into the programmer. We've tried playing around with the anti-torque pre-compensation setting, going higher, going lower. Rudder acceleration, going higher, going lower, turning it off, no effects there. I've tried turning off the swash ring, even though that has nothing to do with the tail, just kind of as a side note, I've tried turning that off. Rudder locking gain, I've tried going both really high, really low. On the lower setting, I've bumped the gain up in my radio as well, all the way high, all the way low. And for some reason that rudder just locks up, and it's driving me bananas over here because I want to fly this thing and I want to return it to its owner, but until we get this rudder issue solved, this thing is not safe to fly. So any comments or any tips, guys, or anyone who's ran into this scenario would greatly appreciate it on my end here. Maybe you can give me some advice I wasn't aware of, and I can avoid this problem in the future. So thanks for watching today, guys. Remember, Freddy can fly, so can you.